President Trump just tweeted, if anyone is looking for a good lawyer, I would strongly suggest that you don't retain the services of Michael Cohen. Gene Robinson, I'm going to toss this one to you. So the guy that's been by his side for decades, the guy who is his closest partner, his friend that he likes very much, he is now throwing under, over, and behind and in front of the bus. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Some might ask, some might say, when is someone in Team Trump going to turn to the president and say, sir, the emperor is naked and your attorney is drunk? Like, at what point is someone going to tell the president the truth? The emperor has no clothes, and even worse, his attorney is a runaway beer truck.
Well, first of all, I predict that this is the first of probably many tweets about Michael Cohen, because we know how President Trump feels about loyalty above all else, and he clearly perceives this as disloyal. Look, he's got to be tremendously worried about. He's already been worried about what was in all the material that was seized in those raids of Michael Cohen's office and residence and his hotel room. And now, with Cohen just sort of chomping at the bit, apparently, to make a deal with prosecutors and spill his guts about everything, this has to have the president in a state. And so whatever they did to try to sort of chill him out last night, it won't last. It won't last forever. And Shannon, what?
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.